Hello and welcome to Southeastern 16's early evening SEC basketball reaction. I'm Chris Lee, joined by Blake Lovell, standing Blake Lovell, and Max Barr.
It's true.
Our man
I'm
Blake,
Pat McAfee style right now.
as much crap as I like to give him, this man has been through some stuff and exhibited some dedication today, has he not, Max Barr?
Listen, it's a Saturday. Sometimes you got to go on the road on Saturdays, and you got to play your big time games, not where you want to, in the comfort of your own home. Sometimes you gotta go on the road into foreign territory and perform as if you are at home. Blake Lovell on the road, doing what he can. It just means more. We only have, 4 Saturdays left? And it's March Madness? Oh, don't even say that, Max. Don't tell me that, Max. We're here right now.
We are, now that I think about it, we are 3.5 months into college basketball.
There's 3.5 weeks left.
No.
All right, Max, let me know if my mic's a little too loud. I'm trying to make it work. But again, technical things today. We are. This is the third live stream we've done today. We did the one after Tennessee, Kentucky. I was sitting down for that one in a chair. We did the watch along in this game, Auburn, Florida. I think I was sitting in the bed on that one. And now I'm standing up like Pat McAfee. So we have just been all around the place to get these live streams done today. Florida Gators. Don't let the Gators get hot. How about that? What'd they say? The first was only the 5th team in history to have 2 wins over number one ranked teams. And that was the first road number 1 win for Florida in history. And wow, what a performance. We talked about it in the watch along. If you guys did miss the watch along, boy, we had a lot of comments about this game. We shared our extended thoughts on it, but to kind of narrow it down a little bit, Max, I mean, this just came down to, Florida, a situation where they came out and we said early on, like Auburn got off to a good start. And then it was like, if you're going to have a chance, you got to be able to weather that initial storm. Because Auburn came out, what was it? What was Auburn up early? Was it 7, 8, something like that, maybe?
It's like 15 to 5, I think it was at one point. It was like,
I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those things where you look at it from that standpoint, and we go in knowing that there's no Elijah Martin. And we're thinking about this for Florida. We're saying, man, what a bad setup this might be, right? But Max, undefeated this year is what? Bet the bad news.
Injury
undefeated still at this point. We should have known. As soon as they rolled out Martin, we should have said, this is it. Florida's going to win this game. So unbelievable team performance from Florida. Walter Clayton's out here hitting logo shots. You got Tommy Haugh playing the game of his life. Guy did stuff that wasn't even in the stat sheet that you're going to look back on and say that was the difference. Alex Condon, all SEC player, first teamer looking like out there. Tremendous performance from the Gators today.
Yeah, I mean, the second half was like, we're not going to let Walter Clayton beat us. So their bigs just beat them. I thought it was almost that simple. That and Johni Broome was not having a great Johni Broome day, which, to be fair, when you're facing those bigs, it's probably a little tougher to get off a shot, and there's probably a little bit of a reminder of that in your head every time you go up for one. Good front courts can plant that seed of doubt. I thought that was like the most we had seen that with Broome all year.
And Broome did not have a great game. He missed a few bunnies. Broome didn't have a good game, and he still had 18 and 11, 6 assists and 2 blocks. It was the kind of the supporting cast that wasn't there today for Auburn. Denver Jones, only 2 points. Baker-Mazara with only 6. I'm not sure if that's close to a season low or conference low or something, but he wasn't very involved today. Tahaad Pettiford, making some freshman turnovers there at the end. That one where he lost the ball. But I think this is credit to Florida. I think this is just credit to Florida. Tommy Haugh, if you were with us in the watch along, we have hyped up Tommy probably more than we should. We really like the guy.
Last May, I think we were hyping up Tommy Haugh. Probably going back to the SEC tournament last year. We said, you're going to have to watch out for this dude. Yeah.
We love that guy, and I could have never expected that. I mean, just what was that one? There was a sequence where like he got the block, the rebound, then the offensive play, and it was just like, oh my gosh, Tommy, where's this coming from? Just nuts. But I mean, we've been saying someone's gonna get Auburn. Like someone's gonna get them. They've looked untouchable, and we've even talked about them going undefeated. I will say though, guys, even though I am the biggest advocate for the injury theory, first game after an injury, got to bet on that team. I'll be honest. I still was not thinking, ooh, Florida, they might take Florida lightly and they might, Florida might have a chance here. I was thinking, oh, man. No, Elijah Martin, he's one of the best defenders in the league, one of the better players on the team, does a little bit of everything for them. No way they go into Neville. Other than the first 5 minutes, they through and through were the better team, controlled the game. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they were, again, I think the team that was the better team in this game won the game. Like, this isn't one of those where you're like, okay, the better team didn't win. The better team won today. Florida was the better team. And I think when you just look at it from that standpoint too, and we were kind of laughing about this, but we all remember, like, and look, when you give up 106 points, right, on the road at Kentucky, we all remember the discussions. It was like, well, Florida can't play defense. And I thought there were several stretches in this game where Auburn had a chance to try to make a run. And there were just some big defensive plays from Florida. And remember, they're doing this without their best defensive player in Martin. And so I think from that standpoint too, we said early on, right, that was the theme early. Like both of these teams are physical, and Auburn was maybe a little more physical, but then you saw Florida just make it hard on them. And Auburn makes some uncharacteristic plays, and you need some help like that sometimes. But you got to give Florida a lot of credit, I think, for that. I mean, they were just, again, they were playing good defense. And, yeah, I just thought this was a game where as it continued, and we talked about it in the watch-along, it was one where it got to a point there where you're like, all right, Auburn's going to make a run, but are they going to outplay this Florida team today enough to be able to win the game? And it just felt like, the further that game got in the second half, you're like, man, I just don't see it. Auburn, normally you're like, hey, they might make a run, make this, but Florida was just at every turn. When Auburn had a chance, you thought it was Tommy Haugh, it was Condon, it was somebody making a big play. Clapstar, as we said, knocking down threes. Max declared it his game after the first three I think he hit. And Max maybe wasn't wrong. The Urban game. Just
not that urban
again. Well, not that urban Florida fans. But yeah, it was big. We had this debate too. I don't know if anyone said it already, but we did debate in the watch along. That's easily the best win I think of any team this season in college basketball. Getting a number 1 road win at Auburn. Before we might have said the second best win may have been, Florida beating Tennessee at home by 30. And so for the Gators to have a pair of those wins like that, just again, nobody else does that way. So
the depth, we have talked about this team for a while, and with Martin being out today, we talked about the bigs, but Clabzar, I don't think we've spent much time talking about him at all because we didn't need him. Florida was playing an 8-man rotation most of the year, but he gets 9 points, has a 6-point possession, and goes plus 17 today in 17 minutes. The mark of an incredible team sometimes is when adversity makes you stronger. And boy, going into that place with no Elijah Martin and playing at that level with a guy who's not really been a part of what you're doing when you're playing real teams, man, look out for those guys.
Florida Basketball Hour, it's pretty much every single stream here where I tell you guys to go watch them. They said before the game, they had a follower ask them, how the heck can we beat Auburn? Show me the light. Florida Basketball Hour, they said, make 35% of your threes. Florida shoots 39%. Check that box. Limit turnovers. 12 turnovers, but in comparison to 22 team assists, I'd say that's a nice road assist to turnover ratio. Could have limited them a little bit more. At least 10 offensive rebounds. Grabbed 11. And then limit Pettiford plus Kelly, that combo, to under 5 threes. They combined for 5. And there is your recipe for success.
Well, right, and let's not forget, game before was Vanderbilt. They beat Vanderbilt by what, 11? I'll fact check that. But yes, they played that without Clayton. And that was a nice win. So that's back-to-back wins without one of your two best players. Beating two, I mean, obviously Auburn was number 1 in the country, and Vanderbilt is an NCAA tournament team before picking the field today. So
the lesson really we learned here is Florida don't be at full strength.
Right.
That's the lesson we learned.
Pretty good that way too.
Well, no, I mean, they were full strength against Tennessee, wasn't they? They lost by 20 against a non-full strength Tennessee team. So that's the lesson we're learning in SEC basketball. Teams who are down players, you're in a great spot. So, yeah.
Well, you don't have Elijah Martin, who's probably your best defender. And maybe the analytics will tell you that maybe Chinyelo, I'm thinking about Evan Mia's stuff, probably has Chinyelo as the best defender. He plays 15 minutes, felt like it was 2, and barely has an impact on the game. Basically did this thing without Martin and with a quarter of Chinyelo. That's how good everyone else was for the Gators today.
Yeah, just good quickly. Point. Chinyelo wasn't very good today either, so and barely still didn't matter.
Tyler, I'm literally standing up, holding my computer with the other hand and microphone with one.
You told me to do that.
So if you're wondering why we haven't gotten to the super chats yet, usually I'm pulling up the super chats, but I don't even have the ability to do that right this second. So, yeah.
You did tell me
Max
to do
pull
those.
them up here. So Max, let's catch up on the super chats.
My bad there, Tyler. It's my fault. We've got another from guess who? Mr. Zach Dixon. $10. That was a tough one. Golden knows Bruce well, and they match up well with Auburn. I always thought this was a possibility. I'm not going to lie, though. The loss has me feeling very relieved. Maybe not so much pressure of an undefeated conference season. Okay, I see that angle. But hey, Zach, you're not wrong. Bruce did say multiple times, it was in every interview he did leading up to this game, he said, Florida is going to bring stuff in their front court that we haven't seen yet, that not a lot of teams can do. So Bruce was saying this is going to be a tough one. All right, Tyler, here's the $5 super chat. Auburn's 25-year-olds just got beaten by a bunch of sophomores in Clayton and Richard. Hey, okay, I understand the jab, but you can't just have it to fit your narrative and then do and Clayton and Richard when they're really old too. Everybody's got some old players. Tyler, getting in the jab.
Guys, this is crazy. I look, and I know win shares isn't everything. They're different measures. I'm just gonna see. I'm curious, like, who is considered Florida's best player, and this is before today, and I'm guessing maybe Condon took a jump, but win shares for Florida this year coming in today. Guess who their best player is according to win shares? I bet
Tommy.
Nope.
It's Martin.
No, then I don't care.
Nope.
Isn't it?
Nope.
Tommy.
Well, then I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't care what the answer is. If it's not
shares.
Clayton or Martin, it's who?
It's Will Richard. They've got it. Richard 3.6, Martin 3.5, Clayton 3.5, Condon 3.5, Tommy Haugh 2.6. And look, I get. I do not think Walter Clayton is the best player. I mean, I don't think that Will Richard's the best player. Excuse me. But my point is, it is really interesting to look that up. First of all, I figured it would be close. That's why I went to look. Because on a given night, it's a lot of different guys. But that's crazy. And I think that goes to show how really good this team is when you've got that many really, really, really good players. And you know me, I've been banging the Richard drum for a while. I thought for 2 years running, he's one of the more underrated players in this league.
Before we go down another rabbit hole, I don't want to forget these two super chats. We've got one of our most faithful Gator fans, Big Gator EJ. We've beaten the last 2 number 1 teams. Yeah, you're only one of the 5 teams in the history of the sport to do that, home and away. History for the Gators today. Thanks for the super chat, EJ. And then we have one more cast. Wow, that looks like that's a nice looking fish there. Florida front court love. Sorry.
Imagine listening to this in the audio. What the hell's Max talking about?
Hey, it looked like a nice catch.
That was a good one. That was a good one. That was great. All right. By the way, just as quickly, I know some people were not in the other streams. Yeah, I'm in a secret location, and the lighting here is like, it's that orange hue. Like, it's one of those where it's just like everything's orange. And I'm like, this is just the weirdest deal. We're definitely playing backup today on the setup. I'm standing like Pat McAfee. I'm getting like antsy like McAfee does. He's like one minute he's over here, then he's over here. That's where I'm at right now. So,
but at least you're not holding the camera with your toes now. So that's
like I was in the watch along. Yeah,
right.
There's something. But I mean, look, I know Malik keeps bringing up the depth. I mean, and we talked about that in the watch along. I think that was the thing. Max and I think were a little higher on Florida's overall depth in the summer than I think they were getting enough credit for. That was the one thing we really were buying in on, was the depth on this team. And I think now you kind of look at the way it's played out throughout the season. And, you know, again, like we didn't pick Florida in the top 3 or anything going into the year, but we did think their depth was going to be something that could be a strength for this team. And we saw as they started the season, we're like, all right, they're just going to simply wear some teams out because they got guys contributing everywhere. So, yeah. But anyways.
Well, the thing is a lot of people were surprised by Denzel Aberdeen being as good as he was, and we were all over that.
Come on. We were not surprised.
Fun fact here. Ken Palm's number 1 most comparable player here for Denzel Aberdeen is Doughty from the 2017 Samir Doughty from the 2017 or 2019 Auburn team.
It's interesting.
He was a 3-point shooter.
All right. What else we want to get to in this game? I mean, look, here's the question for you. Is there anything you take away from this game for Auburn that you're concerned now?
If we're going to pick nits, I would like to hear Bruce Pearl's explanation for sitting Broome that long. Was it just our guys are losing their cool and I need to send a message, which, frankly, you'd rather do now than in the NCAA tournament? Remember, they partly lost that Penn game last year because they got a little undisciplined. Got a guy kicked out. I mean, I don't know if that's what was going on today, but, I mean, it was just weird to see him on the bench that long. Because, like, TV timeout comes, you're like, surely he's coming back in the game now. Nope.
For me, I'm not really – I wouldn't say I'm overreacting to anything offensively. I thought they missed a lot of bunnies. I thought Broome missed a lot of shots he normally makes. And then I thought they really felt the game pressure and started taking some bad shots. I distinctly remember a Chaney Johnson mid-range pull-up that I wasn't happy with at the end of the second half when Auburn was down by 4. Chaney goes for a pull-up mid-range to cut it down to 2. It was kind of a rushed shot, contested shot. And then in the next 40 seconds, Florida blows the lead out to double digits. And the whole first half is just like washed away by that last run that Florida went on. So I thought, one, just some timely shot selection could have been a little bit better in some spots. But defensively, I mean, they let up 90 on their own floor. I know Florida is one of the best offensive teams in the nation. What do they have right now? The 3rd best offense. So, I mean, come on. Florida's going to score some points, but 58% from 2. Oof.
See, I didn't think – I know you give up 90 points at home. That doesn't feel like a good defensive performance, right? And we've seen Auburn play better. I didn't think that I was more bothered by their offense looked more off than their defense. And I think Florida just hit some tough shots. Like the whole first half, we were like, how many, 28-footers are these guys going to hit? Or, there was one possession, I remember it was a broken floor because the ball was going out of bounds. They do one of those make a save. Everybody's out of position. They knock down a three. It felt like a lot of times it's just a stuff happens game. And I wanted to look this up. There weren't a lot of these, but the margin was kind of significant. Fast break points today, 14-3 Florida's favor. Auburn got almost nothing free. And Florida did rack up a few of those, run outs and stuff like that. So that to me makes me feel a little bit more like when I'm watching with my eyes, I didn't think their defense was as bad as the scoreboard looked. And when you're missing shots, that kind of thing, and teams, because fast break points come off your offensive failures usually when they go the other way. So that kind of feels like that backs up a little bit of what I thought as I watched the game.
I just have one last question here because we do probably have a lot of MIZ in the chat that's waiting. Or, never mind.
A&M.
A&M.
They might be waiting, but I don't think they're waiting for what you think they're waiting for.
I don't know if it's waiting for the good stuff. But here's a question, guys. And because I think it's a great point that Zach brought up. Geez, shout out to our chat, by the way. You guys are just on it. How much do you buy into that idea of now Auburn can just play free? The pressure isn't on them of having the undefeated regular season, the target on their back. Is it still like, nope, you're going to be 2 in the country now, 3 in the country? The target's still on your back. Still got that pressure. Or do you think they play a little bit freer?
I think there's something to that. I do think there is something to that. But here's the thing. Nothing's changed for Auburn in that even when they lose this game, they're still going to get everybody's best shot because they're Auburn this year, right? I mean, they've been the best team in the country for how long now? And yeah, they're going to lose and they're going to get moved in this archaic AP poll to whatever number they get moved to just because they lost a game. But they still have the strongest, again, just so everyone is like, we're clear on this. Auburn is still the top overall seed in the NCAA tournament as of today. Win, lose, or draw, they were going to be the top seed. Like, that's how far ahead they are in the metrics. So, but from an actual, like, mindset standpoint, I think it's one where they've gotten everybody's best shot. They're going to keep getting everybody's best shot. They're not going to be the underdog in terms of, okay, maybe on the road at Alabama. We're talking just from a point spread standpoint, right? Like, Auburn's not going in playing anybody where it's like, okay, we're going to play the underdog role. Like, they're the team where they've put together, as we said, a body of work historically that is on another level, right? And so you lose a game like this, I just think it's one where, and coaches say this sometimes, you never want to lose a game. Right. But you know what? If it's a teaching moment where you can build on some things that probably, even as the number one team in the country, even as good as they've been, of course Bruce Pearl's probably seen some things where he's like, we got to get this fixed or we got to improve here because if we don't, a month from now, that might be what gets us beat, right? And so if some of those things come out in a game like this, which I'm sure they did, you're kind of like, okay, well, Bruce Pearl can use that to be like, all right, look, it's time to get focused. Remember all this stuff I keep telling you? Hey, you're beating everybody, but there's these things that you still have to get better at. That's how they'll use this moving forward. So there's a little bit to it, but like, is it everything? Of course not, I don't think.
But they've been playing with this pressure for 2 months now.
Yeah.
They've taken on a ridiculous schedule. Yeah. I just don't think it's a big factor. I mean, if they were a younger team, maybe, but I mean, I guess if Bruce Pearl felt like they really needed a wake-up call today, then he got his wish. Not that you want to lose a game, but you know what I mean. And I do think the Broome sitting for a while with 2 fouls was interesting because that was well into the second half, and I think if you look at how he went out of the game, where they kind of lost their composure. But I mean, other than that, that's about as far as I can go. They play like a frustrated team a lot of the day.
Imagine you're Mark Byington and you get a great home win over Texas today. And you're like, okay, we got some momentum as we host Auburn. Maybe we catch them sleepwalking in between their big matchup against the Tide. Wait a second. They lost today. You gotta be kidding me. Poor Commodore's gonna be catching the most pissed off Tigers they've been all year.
See, I don't know if that's good or bad, because this team has looked darn near invincible at times. That could also work as to see somebody can beat them on the right night, kind of a thing. Yeah. I have no idea. It's never obvious until the game's been played, and then it feels that way, but it's really not.
Gonna be interesting.
All right, before we get to Missouri A&M, I told Max, because I'm doing this, and I can't actually pull up the ad copy right now for Bracket Bids. So I'm going to do this off the top of my head, okay? I'm going to really try to come up with something good here.
Yep.
All right, we're talking about brackets. I said, here's what's going to happen. Auburn's still going to be the top overall seed today, even though they lost this game. Guess who's moving closer to that number 1 seed overall? The Florida Gators, after a big win today. Because I keep saying I think there's going to be 3 SEC teams to get a number 1 overall seed. That's what I think. Florida takes a big step towards that. Bracket bids, yep. Max. Pull it up on the screen. It's already down there in the bottom right now in case you haven't seen it. But bracket bids. You want to take your experience to the next level. Fill out a bracket at Bracket Bids. You can join the league, the auction league we keep talking about, friends, family, co-workers. We're going to start one of those. Remember, upset bonuses, bold picks. Chris went bold by picking the Oklahoma Sooners to beat Tennessee. We all went bold by picking Auburn to beat Florida. If you want to go bold on your picks, you can do it at Bracket Bids, and you can do it within the league. NCAA tournament time. Who are you going to take all the way? Max has got Mississippi State in the Final Four again.
Well,
Chris has got Georgia in the Final Four. Something's got to give in this game going on right now. So therefore, as Mark's comment here, Bob Barker, I've been making jokes about that all day. I've got the Bob Barker microphone right now, giving you a Bracket Bids read. But remember, if you want to check out Bracket Bids, you go 40% off. Use that code SE16. If you want to get in on league play, 40% off. SE16 is the code. Download the Bracket Bids app today or visit them at bracketbids.com. You guys got to sign up. That helps us out here. Bracketbids.com. There you go. Ooh, I felt
there
good.
We go.
Nice. A little spontaneous.
Nice. Yep. Improv.
All right.
Oh, improv.
Improv. Sounds like Wade Taylor in a game winner. Improv.
Oh, man.
Mr. Wade T.
Hey, while we're having the number one NCAA tournament seed discussion, we got 5 teams that could get there?
Chris, I told someone yesterday, I said, I think there are still 5 teams in the SEC that can be a number 1 overall seed. It's Auburn, Alabama, Florida, Tennessee, Texas A&M.
Thank you very much.
Yep. I mean, the sorting through these teams at the end is going to be fascinating.
Well, you can Sharpie in A&M to that number 1 seed because they have now moved up to. They're still at 14. Darn it! I'm trying to have A&M be their highest Ken Pom ranking ever, or the Buzz Williams A&M era, which is 12. His highest ever is 7 at Virginia Tech with the Nikhil Alexander Walker years. But A&M's on their way to being the best Buzz team ever. Go on the road, and Blake picks up. Cannot believe it. Picks up a game on us. Picking the Aggies on the road. Blake, you called it.
Well, let's all be clear here. I called it because I was not going to put the kiss of death on Missouri. So let's not act like I was some kind of Nostradamus here. But I said too, I did think there was something. We always kind of laugh about the series history thing, but I do think there is something to when you play a team like Texas A&M and the Buzz style, sometimes giving teams problems. And we said A&M's just kind of had Missouri's number over the past little bit, since the start of the Dennis Gates era. And I think that was just something for me that did kind of stand out. If I was going to actually pick A&M, I picked them, but to prevent the kiss of death. And look here, remember this number I brought up? Let's find it here. Who was it? Pull up in the chat here, Max. I said that ridiculous stat where Missouri had not scored over 64 points or something like that against A&M in like 7 or 8 straight meetings. What'd they score today? Like, what is 64. It? It's nuts, isn't it? Like, think about that. Like, that is just a wild stat. That's just, just a complete random stat that you're like, okay, whatever. But it's kind of one of those deals where, man, I just think the way A&M played. Look, too, if you're Missouri and you're thinking about this game afterwards right now, what are you thinking about? How in the world do we get down 12-0 or whatever to start the game? We don't score the first 5.5 minutes, 6 minutes, whatever it was. If only we had that stretch back, right? And so, but then it's like A&M went, what was it, Max? 6 minutes without scoring or something like that.
Their usual.
Their usual. But yeah, like I think it's just, this was going to be a tough game, I thought, for Missouri, just from a statistical matchup standpoint with A&M. We said 2 teams would like to get to the free throw line. And yeah, like I think it was one where I'm not surprised A&M won. And I don't think any of us are, but that's just what this team's done this year. They've been confident and they find ways in these kind of games. And that's like we said, they built a number 1 seed type resume. That's their 8th quad 1 win now. That's going to be tied for 2nd in the country, unless Oregon wins. I haven't kept up with Oregon today, but yeah. So
I think the big thing is if you could sum it up into one thing, Ken Pom had it as a 66 possession game. I think we all thought, was this a game where we talked a lot about tempo? They all run together after a while. Anyway, A&M kind of got the tempo that I think it's more comfortable playing in this one and won the game.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this Luke Evangelist from Texas, I'm sorry if I'm saying that last name wrong, but he is just an absolute wizard with the stats on the Aggies. Texas A&M's 5-0 now in SEC play when they make at least 70% of their free throws. Today was their first game in SEC play not making 70% of their free throws and winning. They're now tied for 2nd in the nation in most quad 1A wins away from home. Yes, you heard that right. Quad 1A away from home and Texas A&M are in the same sentence, probably the first time in forever. They've got 5 of those. Auburn's got 7 and Alabama's got 5 as well. So A&M, you catch them on the road and there's just something about the Aggies playing in enemy territory. I don't know what it is, but they play really well on the road this year. Their only 2 losses in conference play are at Kentucky without Wade Taylor. So, what are you going to do? And then the 1-point loss at Texas when they were up by like 20. Aggies.
Well, listen, let's also call it what is in this game. We said at halftime, Caleb Grill had 1 shot attempt at half. He finishes with 5 shot attempts, 0 of 4 from 3, 4 points. They still almost won the game. I think that kind of speaks to Missouri's depth, right? Because who was at this game? It was Jacob Cruz. We talked about that too. He goes 3 of 4 in this game from 3. But Missouri didn't shoot it well, and we probably kind of could have expected that against this A&M team. But again, that's what we talk about, the value of a Caleb Grill. And we knew, I think we mentioned in the preview, like Buzz's game plan. What's that going to look like trying to shut down Caleb Grill? And I think, as we're watching this game, while we're watching the watch-along game, Auburn, Florida, that was definitely something where it's just a different dynamic when Caleb Grill can't get going, right? And, this was the kind of team A&M has proven they can just – Buzz is a matchup wizard when it comes to just trying to identify that one thing you've got to do to really disrupt the other team. And from the jump, that was kind of what happened there, I thought, in that one.
Here's an interesting dynamic with Missouri. And I looked it up to see if I was right. Anthony Robinson, we have not spent nearly as much time talking about him lately. He played 15 minutes today, played 6 against Tennessee, has now gone 6 straight games without hitting double-figure scoring.
Yeah, that's why we hadn't said much, because it's just been a big difference. Yeah.
But like out of conference, like he was in the, I don't remember he was in the Ken Palm top 5, but he was like in that stratosphere for a while with the numbers, and they played a garbage schedule. I get it, which is probably your answer. But it's been interesting to see how he is taken less and less of a role. I'm trying to figure out who played the other minutes at point guard today, because he played 15 and Perkins played 18. And Barrett didn't play at all today. I guess they let Grill run it.
We'll have to go back and watch the replay on some of that as we were doing the watch along for another game. But again, we all kept our eye on this game. We're having to keep our eye on the other game at the same time. So, yeah.
I'm trying to find what Lenardi had A&M at.
They were 2 on the updated one.
He had him as a 2?
Yep.
They'll probably stay there then, right?
Yeah, I mean, your number 1 seeds right now are Auburn, Alabama, Duke, without 100% certainty. I mean, for those 3. Then I think you're looking at the resumes between Tennessee, Florida, A&M, and who's the other team I'm forgetting?
Purdue?
Is it Purdue?
Yeah, I don't think Purdue's there yet. Iowa State's fallen off. It's probably not Houston. I don't think Houston's done
Lenardi's
enough.
got Purdue as 5.
2. Oh, as a 5 seed?
No,
sorry.
Like,
okay.
Overall.
Yeah. Okay. I thought so. I was going to say, I think that's probably right. Yeah.
Here's a crazy thing. What if Florida flipped Tennessee today?
I mean,
Tennessee had a great win, but winning it. I'm looking at BPI coming into today. Yeah, I mean, Tennessee was 4 in resume. Florida was 5.
Yeah. And I mean, all eyes should be on Clemson.
Yeah.
Clemson pulls off the shocker today. You could
thought we weren't allowed to talk about those.
Guys, here's something to really think about. I mean, seriously think about this, okay? And people are going to think this is crazy. I don't think it's crazy. If you get a certain combination of SEC teams playing each other, the Auburns, Tennessee, Florida, A&M, Alabama, right? You still got multiple games between those teams. Unless you just have games where somebody wins by like 20 or 25 or something, each team is going to get strengthened by playing that game.
Yeah.
And then it's like, let's say you lose a 3-point game. It's going to strengthen your resume. So you see what I'm saying here in that if Duke were to lose a couple games down the stretch, which I don't think is going to happen, if they were to, and let's say Purdue were to lose a few more games, and so they're not just a clear choice, right?
Right.
You can't tell me there would not be a debate that if these teams maybe exchange wins a little bit in that group of 5 from the SEC, you know where I'm going with this. Like,
oh man,
if anyone, if you're doing strength of resumes in a year like this, you could put all 4 SEC teams of that group on the number 1 seed line. And I don't think it's that wild. Now, again, it's going to matter in terms of the combination of the outcomes for the games they still have to play. But if Duke were to slip a little bit, let's say they lose tonight and they lose another one somewhere they're not supposed to lose.
Right.
I'm just saying, I think it's a realistic possibility. I really do. The committee will never do it, but I think absolutely it should be in consideration depending on how it plays out.
Wouldn't that be something? Has that ever happened before?
Can you imagine the backlash from the SEC haters? Oh my gosh. Oh man.
And with our luck,
it
wouldn't end
one of them would lose, wouldn't they? One of them would lose as the number 1 seed. That's what would happen to us. Just to piss us off. One of them would get beat.
I don't think that's ever happened before, all 4.
No.
Because I know 3 has happened twice.
Big 12 and Big East?
Big 10. The Big 10 never do it?
It was the ACC when
Duke, Carolina,
Virginia won it all. Because it was Virginia, Duke, Carolina, Virginia. That's one of them. And there's another one. And I don't know off the top of my head, but I know it's only 2. The SEC is trying to be the 3rd.
Yeah. Which I think they will be.
Mother Carol says yes, there has.
Who would that have been?
I'm not sure.
We'll find that.
I wonder if that would have been.
ESPN
Well,
stats
no,
and
it
info.
could have been the pre-64 team tournament.
Get on it.
Somebody get it for us.
She might be setting us up, and she's going to say the SEC this year.
All right. Do we have any other super chats, Max, that we've not seen?
Yes. Sorry, my bad. I haven't been looking.
No,
at
I
that.
just want to check. I haven't pulled up.
Oh, Gwen.
Uh-oh.
Gwen's here. Quinn's pissed.
999.
Knock him off the ledge.
Oh, no.
I was almost about
Quinn,
to brawl.
everybody.
Quinn, it's okay. You're the number 1 overall seed in the tournament still. You got a tricky game against Vanderbilt, but come on. It'll be okay.
It's a long year. It's tough to go without having a stinker.
Yeah. Florida's a good team too. Again, I think we should make this also about Florida. I think Florida's just a good basketball team. So, yeah.
John, $15. Thank you very much. Watched you guys for a while, but always missed the live feed. Vols fan here, but I won't believe Tennessee gets a number 1 seed until I see it.
John's not the only one saying that. I see a lot of Tennessee fans saying like, all right, we'll see it when he gets here.
Yep.
Yeah. You got work to do, but in a good spot. So
margin of victory today is going to really help you out with that. Computers loved that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 4 in KenPom, and I'm presuming they're similar in Bart Torvik and those places. That would be not a stretch.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, Chris, if you need to hop off, go ahead and hop off. Max and I can carry it for the next couple of minutes. We need you back for the primetime show. So if you need to go hop off to do what you need to do, go for it.
Well, I've got to make a food pickup run, but I don't think I can get it until another hour or two from now.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, as long as you're back by
That's
the
why I was
time.
throwing that in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What time are we doing prime time?
Whatever time
after
Alabama and Arkansas ends.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a nonstop pot of coffee day.
What about the Diet Summit?
I'm still worn out from this morning.
I do have those.
Okay.
Made an Aldi run the other day.
Diet Summit Cola.
Yeah.
Need that sponsorship.
Prime time is not a concern. I'll be here.
Good, because I may not be. So you and Max may be carrying the.
I've been spent since noon.
Look at it. Listen, guys, some people, they're just not cut out for life on the road. They're not cut out for mid-February.
Oh, wait a second.
They're not cut out.
Are you leading me where I think you're leading me? Or did you just say some people are not cut out for life on the road?
Life on the road.
Well, if you're not cut out for life on the road and you're thinking, you know what? I want to move. And I want someone else to move me there because they are cut out for life on the road because their trucks are on the road all day, every day, moving people from state to state, country to country, universe to universe. Who is that, Max? Oh, man. That hit different that time. That hit different.
That's a sweet graphic there.
Sanders Logistics. Wow. Your friends and mine. Let's see if I can remember this one off the top of my head. There's no chance, but I'm going to try. Sanders Logistics, your friends and mine, formerly known as Ted R. Sanders Moving, a leader among moving companies in Nashville, Tennessee, and the surrounding area. Oh, I don't remember the next part. Something about they will deliver efficient, hassle-free moving at an affordable price. Efficient, hassle-free moving at an affordable price. Whether you're moving across town or across the country, Sanders Logistics has you covered. Visit them at tedrsandersmoving.com. Wow. I only missed one little part there, but incredible.
Did they deliver
stuff.
Chicken nuggets? Just asking for a friend.
I don't think they're Uber Eats, but
no. Oh.
If you tell them that you're moving, and you're like, it'd be a little more efficient, a little more hassle-free if you brought me a 10-piece nugget from Wendy's, then maybe they would. That's probably that they go above and beyond. Ted R. Sanders does. So, James, Oh no,
James.
James with the comment of the century. Oh my. Oh my, James. Oh.
Nice.
Now, James, that might have been the best response to a Sanders Logistics ad read we've ever seen.
Someone give this man a membership.
Probably a market for that.
Wow, James.
Do you have any to give out?
I don't know. We're going to make sure James gets one. That's just an incredible comment. All right. Anyways. Again, if you're not in the chat, you have missed an experience here. But anyways, wow.
Good stuff.
All right.
Good
so we've established our thoughts on these two games. And again, the plan is that we will come back for the primetime show tonight after Arkansas, Alabama.
Yes.
Which there we will recap any games we've not gotten to today. Vanderbilt beat Texas, big win for the Commodores. Mississippi State and Georgia going at it in Athens. Arkansas, Alabama. As we said, the Hogs trying to go for 3 straight to get on the right side of the NCAA tournament bubble. Ole Miss trying to keep their winning ways going at LSU. And as Josh brings up,
that game?
If any of you want to change your picks, go right ahead.
Nope. Picks are fine. Okay.
Josh wants Chris to explain his Oklahoma pick. I think we should put him on the spot right now to explain that to them.
Yes.
Well, Josh, I think Tennessee should be like cigarette packages. Like, you need a warning when that offense is going to show up like that, because, boy, that can screw your pick up in a hurry.
I will admit,
I was looking to make up a little ground, and the problem with doing that is when it backfires, you're just that much further behind. So here we sit tonight. That may be the first time I picked against Tennessee all year. Seriously,
maybe.
I'm trying to think of when else I would have done that.
Maybe.
I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking about picking Oklahoma.
I picked them to win at Florida. I picked them to win at Vandy. I did not pick them to win at Auburn. I picked them to beat Kentucky. That's the first time I have picked against them and missed.
Josh says the look on your face was like you had a secret when you picked Oklahoma. Chris knew something. Chris's injury report was telling him something else.
I was like, please, I need you guys to,
for the year.
Zag a little bit so I can zig. And
it's not easy going out on a limb. It's not easy going out on a limb.
I feel like we pick all the games the same. So you need the window to crack a little bit, and then it just.
I think this next week we're going to be making some different picks. We got some big games coming up this next week. You got Tennessee, Kentucky, Auburn, Alabama. We got some interesting picks. So if you guys want to catch up with me, you'll have your opportunity.
I think we watch them on Tuesday. If you guys are okay with it, if you guys are,
we might have to. That's a big game.
We watch them on Tuesday.
All right. Here's the deal. If you're in the chat and you want us to do a watch along for Tennessee, Kentucky on Tuesday night, give us the thumbs up or join the It Just Means More tier. Because if you don't join, if we don't get the incentive with more people joining, then we may say, you know what, maybe not. But if you want that to be the watch along game, give us a thumbs up.
Josh is not looking forward to going to Rupp. He has already started getting ready for the
game. Wow. The chat has gone in dark places tonight.
It's that point in the season. It's the dog days. It's the final stretch.
Yeah. All right. We're going to do 2-minute warning here. Anything else you guys want us to get to, let us know in the chat. We'll get to it before we get ready for prime time a little bit later on here tonight. But Mark says, I would join, but only have cash. Well, all right, Mark, here's what you're going to do. You're going to take an envelope. You're going to put that cash in it. You're going to send to P.O. Box. No, I'm just kidding. Please don't send us cash. Anyways. All right. What else we got? Can we do Purdue, Michigan on Tuesday, Chris? Everybody wants to know if we live stream that one.
That's
when's the Wisconsin-Iowa rematch? Everybody wants to know.
God forbid I ever try to bring a little national perspective to the show, because it might affect seeding, and we're talking about who's going to be number one. You would think that, no, but you don't care. You're right.
I watch basketball, Chris, the same way I did essays in high school and college. When they were due, I did them about 2 hours before they were due. Yep. All right. So, like for the NCAA tournament prep, I'll watch 14 Kansas games in 2 hours just to be ready to go for that. All right. During the season, I can't do it. I got to watch all the SEC games. So, I'll be the most well-known Samford buckyball connoisseur there is when I watch every game they played in a span of like 8 hours. Whenever they play Kentucky in the first round.
Max might take the bait, and Max basically between the first week of November and the last week of March does not go outside. He just watches basketball. I thought maybe I'd have an ally there, but nope.
There's been a few different instances this year, and it's probably not healthy, but where I've gone like a Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday without opening my apartment door.
Yeah.
Which is just
this man is all hoops all the time.
This is the workplace we have created here. What a workplace we've created at Southeastern 16, where Max doesn't even open his door for 3 days.
I'm joining the team.
Hey, John Rothstein. Some people have hobbies. I watch college basketball.
Did you see his tweet last night?
Every John Rothstein tweet is a gem. Right. Which one you referred to?
The one about his wife going out for his birthday.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. What's she thinking?
He wasn't gonna drink because there were still games to be played tonight or something. It was typical Rothstein.
Typical Rothstein.
John.
It was on brand.
An alumni of Southeastern 16.
Yes.
What a great conversation with John.
Yes.
Nobody wants to know. I want to know the kiss of death record for watch-alongs before you curse my cats. That is true.
Who?
Are we back-to-back now on Kentucky, Arkansas, Auburn, Florida? Who was the game before that?
That was the Alabama.
We didn't kiss of death Auburn against Tennessee.
What?
I don't know. I'll have to take.
Well, Auburn, Tennessee. I'm thinking of the watch.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
We all picked Auburn. Auburn won. Although that was closer than we thought. We knew
that.
Did it.
Yeah. Okay. So that's 2 in a row now. So
it's definitely 2 in a row. Yep.
Yeah. All right, we're done here until the prime time.
Hold on, I just gotta get Leanne's comment up here. I cannot watch Kentucky play a game. I put it on with the sound off and peek at it. Yep.
I used to do this back in the day. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
If they win, then I watch a replay. If not, I pretend it never happened. Hey, everyone's got what they got to get through to March.
Yeah.
It's a marathon.
I've got calls to bring Wyoming back into the wardrobe. I can do that.
The Cowboys.
Anything non-SEC, Chris. Chris is all for it.
Where in Wyoming are you, Justin?
Colorado State, Wisconsin, Iowa.
Pop quiz. What current big on a really good team? Well, maybe not really good, but good team is from Wyoming. He transferred 2 years ago. Who was it?
You mean again? Like location, or he played for Wyoming?
He played for the Cowboys, and then he transferred. He's a big man. He's one of the better big men in the nation from Wyoming.
Oh, yeah. Y'all know it the minute you say it. Is it a Big 12 guy?
Graham Ike.
Oh, yeah.
The big for the Zags.
That's right.
Before him, the best player at Wyoming was Nance Jr.
Nance.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for watching. Enjoyed the company. What?
True. Eric Bischoff is from Wyoming. So for all you wrestling connoisseurs, Eric Bischoff is from Wyoming.
There you go. There you go.
Chris already knew that.
Sure. You know me and my wrestling knowledge. Unsurpassed.
Unreal. Get it, Chris. Watching some 1990s WCW.
Yeah,
all right. We're done here.
Yeah, we're done here.
Did I miss a super chat? I'm sorry.
Did you?
What did we miss? Go find it, Max.
I did. I missed two.
Okay. Let's get those.
Holly said that 2008 was the year when there was 4 1 seeds.
Oh, you know what? I think that's when the 4 1 seeds made the Final Four. I think we were talking about 4
UCLA,
4
Kansas
seeds from the same league.
Memphis, UCLA, Kansas. Who was the 4th? Oh, it's gonna bug me.
Blake.
Memphis, Kansas. Who?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. That's it. All right.
Yep. Yep. So, hey, you never know. And,
hold on. We missed one more too. Go ahead, do it that
one. Well, Matt wants. I think this is for you. It's usually for you.
Oh, he wants me to say "Go Cats." Okay, I'm not going to say "Go Cats," Matt. I will not say "Go Cats" just for $5. You got to increase that money a little bit if you want me to say "Go Cats."
What will you not say?
All right, I will not say "Go Cats." By the way, Chris been a long time follower of the channel. I started this earlier.
Oh, Chris Cobb.
Big Texas A&M fan. So shout out to Chris joining in. We don't have a lot of Aggie fans, but we do appreciate Chris joining in. I know we have some other Aggie fans joining in here on the chat, but shout out to Chris on that. All right, now we're done here.
We're done.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for the super chats. Thanks for being here. If you have not hit the subscribe button, please do that. Give us a thumbs up. All those good things. We'll be back with you later tonight. What, at the conclusion of Arkansas, Blake?
Yep.
Is that what the plan is? Okay.
Right.
We'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your night. God bless you all. For Max Barr and Blake Lovell, I'm Chris Lee. You've been watching basketball coverage here at Southeastern 16.